Here is Ghostly Anna, and Anna is a 16 two-hand 5-year-old thoroughbred mare by Ghostly Minister. I have been trying to get this horse in my barn since sometime last year when her owner, trainer, breeder, she comes from the same connections her entire life. Her trainer bred her, raised her, broker, trained her, raced her, all the things are with the same person, and he loves all of his horses dearly. He especially loves his homebreds, and he especially loves this horse. And he's been telling me about her since sometime last year. And since he told me about her, I've been trying to buy her. But he had a hard time parting with her, which I totally respect and understand. I mean, it's got to be hard to let go, but I think that he finally just thought, that obviously I'll find her an amazing home, and he will get to follow along with her wherever she goes, and whoever she goes with. And so I really huge thanks to him for trusting her with me to find her an amazing home in a sport horse career. I am 100% sure she'll find it and she will excel in whatever she does. This horse is magnificent. So Anna ran 21 times. She made $62,000 as a racehorse. She actually hasn't raced since this time last year. She last ran on 4/19/25, but she has a couple of published works from this spring. And actually, when I last talked to her trainer about her in the fall, he told me that I could have her after she came back into work this spring and she ran a few more times. He said he wanted to give a few more races a shot. I think he told me he was going to run her 2 times this spring. And if she didn't run well, then I could have her. But I said, I'll pay you more money if you'll sell her to me sooner because I wanted her so badly. So it took him a little while to come around, but he finally did. So she's got a couple of published works from this spring. The most recent one is from May 7th. So literally just a couple of days ago, last week. And I picked her up over the weekend. And I am just so thrilled with her. She is just a perfect little unicorn of a horse. Actually, she's not that little. She's exactly 16 two hands. She's got quite a good bone substance about her. She's a solid horse, and obviously she's still in racehorse form. She's going to fill out a ton, and she's really going to be a big-bodied, substantial horse when she's done, filling out and transforming into a sport horse and not a racehorse. She has a big, beautiful head and just a huge, kind eye. I mean, she is just gorgeous to look at. And so she's going to grow into that head. She also has these phenomenally big ears, which I don't think ever point backwards. They are always sort of pricked or relaxed. She just has the absolute best personality. All the horses I get from this trainer are always very sweet and well mannered, but Anna here she's something special. It's unbelievable just how sweet and kind and patient she is with literally everything we've done with her. I picked her up myself and she loads great. She travels great. She got her feet done this morning. So actually we just did her feet, which means we pulled off all of her racing plates. So she's freshly barefoot behind. And whenever I ride them right after we pull off their hind shoes, I'm always sort of like, well, they might be sore, sort of to be expected. And so I never know if we're actually going to get on with a ride because obviously if they come out and they're sore, we'll just stop and come back in a couple of days when they're ready. But she felt fantastic. I mean, and this is having her hind shoes pulled off an hour ago. So I'm sure that in a couple of days' time, she'll look even more fantastic. But she's just such a beautiful mover. She's just very fluid. And she just has this very relaxed sense about her in her brain and in her way of going. She's super soft in her mouth. I actually really like the frame that she's making, when her poll's up and her nose is out a little bit. That's where I really would like her to be. In this corner here, of course, the right's slightly harder than the left, so I'm working on finding a little bit of right flexion. And so then inevitably, because I'm talking to her a little bit louder in moments to the right, then she wants to get a little bit rounder like she's doing right here. But there's nothing wrong with that. It's not backwards. She's just so soft and light. She just naturally goes there with very little pressure. And it is absolutely beautiful to look at. And you'll just have to take my word for it that it is quite magnificent to be sitting on her back. She has just a super brain. She's certainly not a horse that's ever looking for any sort of silly business or naughtiness. Excuse my dogs. So we spent more time to the right than the left because, of course, the left is super easy for her. So working on the right quite a bit, but she really actually found some right bend, and I thought she went beautifully. So the canter work, lovely canter, no surprise there. She's not quite clear on how to do a canter depart, sort of very, very similar. I see this probably more often than not. You ask for the canter and they just don't understand the cues yet. So they just sort of want to do a bigger trot and a bigger trot until they sort of fall into the canter. And then it can take a couple of steps or a 20-meter circle to rebalance, which is sort of the case with her. So, but she'll figure it out quickly. I mean, she's smart. She wants to learn. She's relaxed. She's listening, all the things. She just simply doesn't know. No one's explained it to her yet. But she's very easy to balance once you have her in the canter. And then she's lovely in the contact. She is all the things. She actually does take quite a bit of leg to keep on going in the canter. She's sort of like any excuse, if you kind of let up with your legs for just a moment, she's going to break to the trot, which is fine. Honestly, I would so much rather have that dilemma. I wouldn't call it a dilemma, but that's the correct reaction for the average rider, myself included. I don't want a horse that's jettisoning away with me at all times. So after we did the left canter, we took a little walk break, came back to do the right canter, but I just wanted to trot around for a second first to make sure that all the gears were working from where we left off in our right work, to make sure we had some flexion. Because of course, it's always going to be harder in the canter than it is in the walk and the trot. But actually, that is quite a good turn there. That is sort of the corner where she was most wanting to lean on that inside shoulder. So that was very good there. And then here she is showing off a little bit down this long side. I love her expression. It's very soft and listening. So here we go. There she sort of settled into the balance. Of course, our canter transition it wasn't the most beautiful because she wants to big trot into the canter, but that's okay. She'll figure that out very shortly. And then here I had wanted to keep cantering, but she caught me with, I guess I let up with my legs just a little bit and she broke. And I felt like she did plenty today, so that was enough. She proved her point more than enough that she is absolutely delightful. So here she is on cross ties. I mean, it goes without saying, she is perfect. I very rarely say that about a horse, but she really is. This mare is just a gem to be around. I'm going to create another video because this one's getting too long, of me doing some stuff with her on the ground. I think pulling her mane, and then also a clip of her getting her first hot shoes on today.